What's up, people? I'm Metalhead, and I bought my dream guitar from AliExpress. Like most young metalheads beginning my journey through the genre, Metallica were an important part of my formative years, and one of the bands that inspired me to pick up the guitar. I'd regularly purchase Total Guitar magazine, and if I spent as much time practicing as I did reading reviews and lusting after the gear to talk about, I'd actually be a pretty decent guitarist by now. Throughout the magazine would be page after page of adverts for guitar stores, but there was one store that I'd always be drawn to, Percy Pryor Music on Queensway in Birmingham. And that was because they were dealers for BC Rich, Ibanez, Jackson and ESP guitars. If you'd asked me at that time what my dream guitar was, it'd be James Hetfield's black ESP MX-250 Explorer. Now, I might not be the Metallica fan that I once was, but there's no denying that throughout the 90s, Hetfield was the man. So it's over 25 years later, and I'm seeing some really cheap guitars on AliExpress. I start browsing, and amongst all the Strats and Les Pauls, I start to see some guitars that pique my interest. Now, I'd heard of Chibson guitars, but this is when I started doing a little more research, and a short while later, I decided to go ahead and take the plunge. Having read all sorts of horror stories about the cheap Chinese guitars, I really wasn't sure what to expect would arrive. I'd read about guitars not having truss rods, and I recently saw a video where the neck was actually set at an angle. At worst, I figured I'd hang it on the wall as a decoration, and at best, I hoped I'd be able to do some work on it to have a decent guitar. The first guitar that I ordered didn't arrive, so a little over a month after its due date, I contacted AliExpress, who were quick to refund the money that I'd paid. After some searching, I found what looked like a more reputable seller that actually had reviews from previous customers, and I placed an order. Listed at £265, I used an in-app coupon to get £40 off. Surprisingly, within 45 minutes, the seller had marked the guitar as shipped and provided a tracking number. Parcel Force attempted delivery while I was out at work, so I had to go to my local post office to collect it. Delivered in what is best described as a polystyrene sarcophagus, I saw how easily the guy behind the counter lifted the parcel, and I was a little concerned about how light the package was, especially once I lifted it myself. It's worth noting that I didn't pay any additional customs duty or fees, only what was paid through AliExpress when I placed the order. So now that it's in hand, what can I say? It looks fantastic. There's a couple of very minor blemishes in the paintwork, but nothing that's noticeable from a distance. Straight out of the box, the neck feels good. It's certainly comparable to other guitars that I own. It's bright and loud when it's unplugged, but it's a metal guitar. So what does it sound like plugged in? So we'll start with the clean channel. The first thing I'm hearing is just quite a lot of noise. The pots seem quite smooth, quite nice. Pickup selector switch seems decent. So that's the bridge pickup. That's both pickups. And distorted, we've got quite a lot of noise gate to cover up all the noise coming from the pickups. sound quite weak to me. Definitely pickups need replacing. For the £225 that I paid for this guitar, I'm pleasantly surprised at how good it is. I'd anticipated changing the tuning pegs and nut, but they seem fine, if a little plasticky. Clearly the pickups and wiring need looking at, but I'm confident with a little bit of work this will be a fantastic guitar for the money. I hope you found this useful. Are you contemplating buying a Chibson? What modifications would you make to this guitar? Share your thoughts, tips and mod ideas down below in the comments.